Hello guys, in this video I'll be discussing and sharing my opinions of what's happening to our country, the UK, with our politics, with the cost of living, with our media, especially the right-wing media that's sort of siding with people like Elon Musk, who's got nothing to do with UK politics, and they are sort of not unifying against his interference in the UK politics. He's not a politician, he's a businessman, he's an electric car salesman. He's got his investments in the space side of things and rockets and trying to colonize Mars and batteries and what have you. And now he's interfering with UK politics and bigging up people like Tommy Robinson, the racist criminals in prison for many things, but most recent contempt of court. He was sentenced by a UK judge, a court that's in this country. So why is Elon Musk interfering? And why is the right-wing media, like the likes of Daily Mail, The Sun, and so on, why is there no uniform, stand up against this person interfering with our politics here? This country is divided as it is. And these points that I've just highlighted were explained and articulated very well by James O'Brien, the LBC presenter. I admire the guy so much for his honesty, for his neutral way of looking at things in this country, and the way he's straight up front and in detail, the way he explains what's happening in this country with our politicians, with Brexit, the lies the media have sold us, the division that it's created in this country. I myself, a British Kurd, to be honest with you, it's sad the way it's going. I'm feeling like the tension in this country, and especially where I live as well, and other parts of the country, that this is not the way society should be. In the 21st century, a country like Great Britain, we should not have these divisions in our country. How many million foreigners are there in the eyes of these people who can't tolerate anyone? 4 million Muslims? And what's the population of white English people? So what is the problem? I don't understand. And then there's the grooming sort of scandals, the grooming cases. Yes, it's disgusting what's happened. Any grooming case is disgusting, is wrong, should be imprisoned, dealt with by the law. There are bigger problems in this country. Going back to the grooming as well, there's a statistic out there backed by data and evidence that 90 out of 100%, 93% of grooming cases, pedophilia and all of this is done by white people. Usually you'd just say it's done by people, but in the context of this situation of grooming cases, that is all out there in the media of, foreigners and Pakistanis doing this. So 93 is white English people, white British, I must say, and then the rest is of Pakistani origin and many other nationalities included. Why are we not following data? Why are we just following these millionaires and billionaires feeding us nonsense to divide us? There are vast majority of white English people, working class, who are struggling with cost of living, just like anyone else, majority of working class people, regardless of your background. Why are we not talking about why we are paying so much taxes in this country? Why the average working class man is struggling financially to feed his family, to invest in their future? Why are we having so many food banks, homeless people on the streets? And don't give me that nonsense where it goes back, oh, there's so many people coming to the country and they're taking over our jobs and all these boats crossings. No. 14 and a half years of the Conservative Party. They had plenty of time to build hospitals. They were the ones who cut back tens of thousands of police officers in the country. Where was the Conservative Party for 14 and a half years of rule in this country? Democratic rule. excuse me, where were they in terms of making life better for us? They did nothing positive, hardly anything positive. David Cameron, the donkey, he gave us a referendum without the proper procedures that would follow it. And he ducked and he went. The donkey, David Cameron, I thought when I used to, before the whole referendum thing, I looked up to this person. I thought, this guy, he looks like a proper English gentleman, educated, middle class with a silver spoon, but he articulates himself very well. He comes across very honest. His heart is in the right place when it comes to his intentions for running the country that he loves so much. Then after a while, we found out that the guy was, he had shares in companies, and, he had his own intentions. You see, so none of these people are straight up, You'd think that these politicians and these people in parliament, they come into this field because of their love for the country, for their love for the society they live in, to make a difference. But really, they're all in there for their pockets. And it's us, well, majority of them, I can't say really all of them. I'm sure there are genuine people there that want the good and want to make a good, positive impact by doing their job and providing a service for this country. But I think it's just, we are divided in this country, to be honest with you. Since Brexit, it has all gone downhill as well. We're fed lies by Boris Johnson and the whole referendum process, the Brexit process. What have we achieved? We have achieved nothing. Cost of living is going through the roof. Yes, it's also going up everywhere else, but it's had significant effect on us here, particularly because of Brexit as well, because of the red tape, because of the paperwork, because of the cost of trading with the EU, our closest partner. And they promised us that these boat crossings will stop. Yes, as a British citizen of Kurdish origin, I can't be a hypocrite and say no one's allowed in this country. But yes, I do agree with the vast majority, with the legal route where people want to come to this country. They should follow correct procedures. And I have an easy solution to all this matter. Yes, if you can't physically man the sea and stop these boats crossing, no problem. Let them come. Obviously, you're not going to say come, but if they do come, why don't we open centers where they do come, we take them in, we process them, and send them straight back into the next plane. We go through their cases, make sure it's genuine, sort of a case where someone will be prosecuted, imprisoned, killed if we decided to send them back. But if the vast majority are here for economic reasons, and that if we did send them back to Europe or another country, that wherever they came back, they will not be harmed, then we should do that. That way, then they know that if they do cross the sea and get to the UK shores, most likely majority of them will be sent back, except for the exceptional cases that I mentioned. But whether there is more to this, obviously I'm sure there's policies, regulations and all this, but that's why we had Brexit, to deal with these sort of matters. And it's just a pity that life is getting harder here in the UK for everyone of working class backgrounds, and even the middle class are getting squashed. I believe so, because if the working class are affected, and that also pushes on to the middle class. So really the only ones that are really better off in most cases are the millionaires and the rich people that have assets and inheritance that, in their millions, they can afford to take the squeeze and the punch from inflation. And obviously money makes money, so they have the opportunity to invest their money into assets, into stocks and shares, into stocks that can bring them income, into many other stuff, into businesses. But whereas people like me and the working class man, we are working to survive, pay the rent, pay the mortgage, pay the bills. Everything is going up. Minimum wage is going up in April. They are thinking that they are being smart, but really, at the same time, everything else is going to go up. Your bills are going to go up with the yearly APR that it goes up in. So it's a joke. It's all a joke. It's all a scam in front of us, fed to us, but there's nothing we can do. But the easy targets are foreigners, immigrants, foreigners. I am sick and tired of this. I am sick and tired of hearing this in the news. I mean, what do these people that cannot tolerate anyone, what do they want? Do they want the 4 million plus people out of this country and make it great as it was back in the days in their heads? What was great? Please, some of you guys, let me know in the comments. You could leave your door open. Was that great? I don't understand. Many worlds back in the days, you could leave your door open. It's not a specific situation just in the UK here. And, you know, you are going to have people here. The Caribbeans came over, the Pakistanis came over, the Indians came over after the Second World War. Remember, we had the British Empire, so let's not get too deep into the empire status and the history of the British Empire. Because if you really want all the foreigners out, everything is connected, regardless of how far ago, how long ago this was. People have made this their home. You can't just tell them to leave your country and, oh, they are taking our jobs, oh, they've made our country worse. So the people that the British Empire invaded and that Britain invaded, should they say the same? Oh, we can't progress. The British invaded our country. They've stolen our resources, our wealth. We can't do anything about it. Should they just carry on moaning? Or should they move on? Or should they, you know, be tolerant? You know, nothing's permanent in this world. We're a small island. A big space junk or a rock from space can finish us off like you see in the movies. So why can't we just be humble and live? We all want to live in peace. We are all connected, whether you like it, regardless of your skin color, regardless of who you think you may be. And this is coming from someone who has no country. I'm Kurdish. I have no country. There's 40 million Kurds in the world. We have no country. So really, I am more homeless than the average migrant, immigrant, whatever, foreigner you want to call them. I'm British. I've been here since I was 6 years old. So I'm more homeless than the person that comes here who has a country. But I've decided that it should not affect me. I'm here in this world for a moment and I'm gone. The only anxiety I have is for my kids when they are older. Hopefully things will be better than as it is. And we can all tolerate each other, live in harmony and peace. Even though we may have different views and opinions and our traits and stuff are different. This is life. Your hands here are not the same as your other hand. But in the bigger scheme of things, we are all connected. In this day and age, trade, the internet, we're all connected. So that's my take of what's happening in the country, because it's very sad. The biggest problem is cost of living, poverty in this country. But yet we are being dragged around by this right-wing media and just brainwashed. And I hate to say it, but a vast majority of the white British people fall for this nonsense. What is it? The Conservatives were in power for 14 and a half years, give or take. And you took it. Everything they throwed at us, the British took it. But if it was Jeremy Corbyn, they've said, oh, he supports the IRA and all this nonsense. The guy comes across as a nice, humble human being to me. He comes across as a better human being, a better politician than any Conservative politician and prime ministers in the last 14 and a half years. That's my take on the guy. Regardless of whether you guys believe that he supported the IRA and what have you. If you're going to look into a person's history like that, and I don't know whether he has or not, But even if he has, you cannot judge that point in his life to what he represents now. So that means you can look into Boris Johnson's views, and I can tell you, the guy ain't right. And David Cameron, and all these Theresa May, the daughter of a vicar, she came across as ruthless. I didn't see any Christianity, any Christian values in these politicians. Where is the Christianity in this country? It's supposed to be a Christian country, right? So we're supposed to hold Christian values at the same time. Or is it just nonsense? We're Christians by word, by mouth, but the actions are otherwise. So it's sad what's happening. And people like Elon Musk and his father today coming out and saying that he knows history, and also that Tommy Robinson should be the Prime Minister of this country. What are these people on? With all the money that Elon Musk have, I'd take my dad straight away to a psychiatrist or a physiotherapy for his head, or a doctor to check him out to make sure he's okay. Because I don't know where he gets his history. God help us all. And less division, guys. Less division.